Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago, we talked about the new Kindle Colorsoft. Essentially it's the color signature paperwhite. And I asked if y'all wanted me to do a deep dive and talk about the specs of this device, or if you wanted a comparison between the color Kindle and the color Kobo Libra. And lots of folks had questions about the Kobo and the Kindle, about how they compared, about similarities and differences, about what I thought about the two devices. So I tell you what, y'all go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I'm gonna get myself a tasty beverage. I'm gonna try to get these furry felons settled down, and I'm gonna get us set up on a camera so that I can show you the similarities and some differences between these two devices, and I'll be right back and we'll get started. All right, y'all, I got my tasty beverage. I have a lovely spearmint green tea. I got the felons as calm down as I think they're gonna be. I got it set up on another camera so we can talk about these devices. So let's get into this thing. Now, I want to try to focus, I know, on the similarities and the differences that really make a difference between these two machines, because I've had a bunch of questions about what I think about the Kindle compared to the Kobo and which one I like better. So what I want to do is talk about the similarities, and there are a lot of similarities, but then I want to get into the differences. And I want to explain sort of for whom I think which device is better, and then hopefully you'll be armed with the information that you need to make the decision for yourself. So let's jump straight into this, and let's start with the similarities between the two devices. And I want to talk about just sort of the basics of the two devices. So each of them has a 7-inch screen, and they're the Kaleido 3 e-ink screens. So they both have those, but they do them a little bit differently, and we'll get into that in a minute. They're both at 300 ppi for black and white display and 150 ppi for color display. The battery life is, okay, I gotta be honest. I've read that the battery life is very similar. It's like 8 weeks for the Colorsoft and 7 weeks for the Kobo. But y'all, I love this Colorsoft so much that I keep it on. It's got wireless charging. So I have a wireless charger that sits on my desk upstairs when I'm working, and I keep it on that because I want to look at it all the time. Like a lovely picture in a frame. So I honestly keep it on the wireless charger all the time on my desk. So I don't know what the actual battery life of the Colorsoft is, but I have read that it's like 8 weeks, which, that's like, your weight on your driver's license. It's not really true, but yeah, it could be true. But I think how long the battery lasts also depends on how you use the thing, right? Like if you have the light jacked up real high, or if it's, if you're out and about and it's constantly searching for Wi-Fi, that's going to run your battery down. So it might go 8 weeks. I don't know, but mine doesn't, because it sits on the wireless charging all the time, which brings us to our next point, which is the Kindle has wireless charging. The Kobo does not. But they both have USB-C plugins. And the Kobos, let's switch over here and let me show you the devices. So the Kobo's plug is right here on the side, and the Kindle's plug is on the bottom, right beside the power switch, which everybody hates that position. Oh, you can't see it. I think y'all are too close. Let me back everything up a little bit. There we go. So now I can actually move the devices so you can see them. So there's the charger. Can y'all even see that? It's there. Trust me when I tell you it's there. And the power button is right there. And seriously, anybody that comments on the power button on Kindles says they hate the position of it. So as I mentioned, the Kindle has wireless charging. The Kobo does not. They both have 32 gigs of onboard storage. The Kindle is a little bit heavier than the Kobo. The Kindle is 219 grams. The Kobo is 199.5 grams. They're both waterproof. They're the IPX8 waterproof. So it's like you can drop it in the drink and pull it right back out, but I wouldn't read with it underwater kind of thing. So, but they are equally waterproof, and I think that's it. So now let's get into some specifics. Let's talk about the form factor of the thing. And I think, you know what? I think I'm going to, oh, I just stepped on a dog. I think I'm going to stand up. So let me lift this camera up. All right. So I think this will make this easier. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet or not, but the Colorsoft is literally just a signature Paperwhite, but with color. So the form factor is just like the Paperwhite. So it's symmetrical on the sides, has a little bit more space on the bottom, so it's comfortable to hold, and you can hold it sort of in either hand. And it's easily, like, you can easily rotate it if you want to read in landscape. Now, it doesn't reorient itself automatically. So if you want to read in landscape, you have to like switch it to landscape. But that's easy to do, and we've talked about that in other videos. But it's easy to hold in either hand because of the symmetrical design. But you got to get over the positioning of the button. I think you can see it better here, I think. You got to get over the positioning of that power button. And y'all, I just keep mine in these like cheapy little cases, which covers the power button, so it's not an issue for me. But it's compact, it's light. Like I said, it's like a tiny, it's like a, I don't know, piece of bread, heavier than the Kobo. But it's very light, it's easy to hold and read for long periods of time. And I've mentioned this before, y'all, I consider myself a normal size person, like a normal height. I say 5'3", I'm 5'2 3/4, and I have like normal size hands for my size. So, sorry, my leg hurts. I'm trying to get comfortable. So the Kindle is like, fits comfortably in my hand. I have no problem holding it for a very long time when I'm reading, and I can easily get comfortable holding it. So as you can see, it has no page turn buttons, and we'll talk about the page turn buttons on the Kobo when we get to it, which let's get to it. So the Kobo. I'm going to take the stylus off of it for now. The Kobo is not symmetrical. It has an asymmetrical design. So to me, it's way more comfortable to hold it with the sort of thicker, like with the thicker part in my hand. Now you can, of course, hold it in both hands. And there's no power button on the bottom. The power button is on the back. So you can easily just hold with your fingers on the bottom wherever you want to. But I like to hold it in one hand like this, or if you want to flip it over, let me wake it up because it won't do that when it's asleep. It reorients itself automatically. So when you turn it, it flips for you. And it's got page turn buttons, which you can change to be like, if you want the top to turn the page forward and the bottom to turn backwards, or the top to turn backwards and the bottom to turn forward, you can sort of map those however you want them to. And I'm going to open a book and just show you. I'm going to open Artemis Fowl just because I know that's safe, and my other books might have naughty words in them. So I feel like the page turn buttons work pretty smoothly. I've read comments from people who have issues with the page turn buttons. Mine, I've never really had an issue with them. No matter where I click it, they turn. But some people say you have to sort of hit a sweet spot to get it to turn. Now, somebody commented on another one of my videos that they think that they've heard that I think it's the black devices that have issues and the white ones don't. And obviously I have the white device. So that's all I know about that. But we have page turn buttons. It also has a stylus with which you can write directly in books. So like if you're the type of I pushed my stylus button. So if you're the type of person that likes to write directly in books to annotate, this might be a plus for you. So like I can write hi here. I believe this is the Stylus Plus, which you have to buy this separately, by the way. It doesn't come with the device, but it's got a little, I don't think you can see it, but it's got a little like smart button on it. And I have my smart button set for the highlight. So when I press my smart button, it highlights. And then my eraser is an eraser. So that's pretty slick. I really like it. There's also, let's get out of Artemis and go into, if you look across the bottom, y'all, I didn't want to show you much on the actual devices because we get into rabbit holes, but if you look across the bottom, one of the options here is My Notebooks. Can y'all see that? So if I open My Notebooks, that's where my notebooks are. And this device works well as like a small e-ink, like e-writing tablet. So let me just open a notebook that I have and just show you that you can make notes in it. And there's very little latency. There's very little lag when you write in it. So if you're interested in a tablet you can write on as well as one you can read on, I mean, that might be something to think about for this one. I don't use it that way because I have a Supernote that I use literally daily. Like I use it all day long, every day. I use my Supernote. So I've used this only to test out the writing capabilities, and they're pretty good. I like them. But again, I don't use it as a writing tablet only because I have a different tablet that I use. But it does have writing capabilities. I'm stuck in this notebook now. There we go. Let's get out of here. So those are really good. And there's nothing even comparable to that at least I don't think, in the Kindle. Like there's nothing in the Kindle that allows you to handwrite in things. So if that's like something you're interested in, then that would definitely be a big plus for the Kobo. I talked about power button placement. Unlike the Kindle, it's not in a place where you need to, I don't think there's any way that you can accidentally, let me take it out of the case. Again, I have all my things in those little just plastic cases, but the button is such that even like if you're holding it there, which who holds something like that? But anyway, I feel like you're still not going to hit the button. Can y'all see that? So I just don't think that button placement is an issue at all. All right, so we talked about the stylus. You can do notebooks. You can write in books. Let's talk about the differences in the displays. And y'all, seriously, like, I don't even know how many times a day I look at this thing and just go, ugh, it's just so pretty. The display on the Kindle Colorsoft is just so pretty. Now, I sort of researched it on the Amazon app because I wanted Amazon to tell me what they did, like what about this thing makes them so proud, because it's not cheap. And I don't want to get too deep into price, but let's talk about the price. The Kindle is like $279.99, I think. The Kobo is considerably less, but if you buy the Kobo stylus, like the stylus, this stylus, I think the stylus with the device with the stylus is comparable to the price of the Kindle. Now, there are other styluses you can get. I've gotten a stylus as cheap. I think the cheapest one I got was $19.99, and it worked with it just fine. So you can buy the Kobo and then buy a separate stylus, and they work just fine. But I say all that to say, I feel like Amazon's pretty proud of this device. Y'all look at can y'all see the depth of the colors in that flower? That's e-ink. All right, I'm gonna stop. I feel like Amazon's pretty proud of this device, so I wanted them to tell me what is so great about it that it's worth that much more than just a regular old Paperwhite. So I made notes, and I want to read you directly from my notes because I want to get this right. So I know it's bad form, but y'all just bear with me here. It's not going to take long. So they say that the Colorsoft has custom formulated coatings between the display layers to enhance the colors. There's a light guide with micro deflectors to minimize stray light, an ultra-thin coating in the display stack to improve optical performance. And this is the biggie, y'all. This is what I was looking for. That the display is built on an oxide back plane for sharper contrast, faster page turns, and better image quality. And y'all, that's it right there. It's the contrast between the colors. Like, I wish I could show you this better, but I'm using a GoPro 8 as my B-roll camera, so there's only so much it's going to do, and I just woke the thing up so my flowers went away. But so here's another one of their splash screens. And just look at the depth of the colors. And there's no bleed between the colors. They're very distinct. And the lines between the colors are just so clear. Like, to me, they're just so crisp. And look how cute this little picture is. But to me, that's what, I mean, I can't say what makes this thing worth $280, but to me, that's what makes this stand out among e-ink tablets. It also has, hang on, I'm getting all up in my feels about this thing. Let's talk about some things that it has. So I'm going to do the swipe down menu, which is just the quick access menu. See, look, I just hit that power button. You see, we talked about the placement of the power button. Because of the way that I set it down, it thinks that I'm trying to mash the power button. You know what? I'm going to put this one back in the case just so that that doesn't keep happening. All right. So I just did the swipe down menu, and this is just like that quick access menu, and it gives you a color style option, and you can do either standard or vivid. And vivid enhances your colors, sort of makes them look more saturated. So like if you're reading a comic or if you have some kind of graphic and the colors just aren't all that rich, or they're not just all that sort of like fully developed, it kind of fills it in for you. And y'all, it makes, if you're highlighting in color, it makes those colors pop. So I like my colors to be vivid, then they're standard. And I think that probably helps to run down the battery. But like I said, didn't I tell y'all that I keep my thing on a charger on my desk all the time so I can just look at it? I can ogle it in the middle of the day. So, but I think probably that I keep it on vivid, and look how I have my light up very, very high because I want it to be bright, but that's going to make the battery run down. But anyway, so you can set it on vivid to enhance your colors, or just standard if you want just standard colors. According to Amazon, they also have, and I'm quoting, custom e-ink filters and enhanced front lighting, which provides up to 150 nits of brightness, helping to offset any darkness from the color filters. Now, I've read, I don't know if it's complaints or questions from folks about the screen being dark when you're reading. I don't find that to be the case at all. Y'all, I need to get out of this book. I do this all the time. When I'm talking to y'all, I'll get into a book that I'm actually reading. And then when I go back to the book, I'm like, why am I on page 420? I should be on page 12. So let me get into a book that I'm not reading. I mean, I'm kind of reading this book, but not as much as the other one. And it has highlights. Y'all, I highlighted it. I highlight the fool out of things, and I love the colors. So what was I talking about? Oh, folks thinking that the screen is dark now. Again, I have my color cranked way up. I mean, my light cranked way up. So, but I think that even if you feel like the screen's a little bit dark, you can offset that by adjusting your brightness and your warmth, because this thing will get cold. Like, you can crank it down and it will be blue. So look at this. I like that. Like, just the fact that the words, like the heading on the page is blue. I know it's ridiculous. Anyway, I mean, I'm not saying that's better than the Kobo, because it would be blue on the Kobo too, but you know where it wouldn't be blue? On a regular paper white. I know, I'm ridiculous. Anyway, so the color saturation, the sort of sharpness and distinction or distinctness between the colors, I think is exceptional in the Colorsoft. Like, look at this book cover. I just think it's really pretty. So I feel like the screen is bright and crisp. There is no bleeding between the colors. I don't see any shadowing or any ghosting at all. Well, look at this. So look at how much color there is here. And look at, that's refreshing. Look how quickly it refreshes. And look how quickly the pages turn. That's that extra Amazon magic they put into the thing. Now, the Kobo, on the other hand, I don't feel like the colors are as vibrant. You know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Hang on. I don't know how much y'all can see this. I don't know why I didn't think to open the same thing on both devices, but there's the cover of Artemis Fowl on the Kobo and on the Colorsoft. So you can just see how rich the colors are on the Colorsoft compared to the Kobo. Occasionally I'll get some ghosting on the Kobo. I don't read comics and graphic novels on it often. Typically I do it just to test it, and every once in a while I'll get a little bit of ghosting, but I've read that people do experience ghosting on the thing, and you can see the page turns just aren't as fluid. They're not as quick. It's not as snappy of a device as the Colorsoft is. Now, let's get into a little section I like to call plays well with others. For the Kindle, the answer would just be no. It does not play with others at all. The Amazon ecosystem is exceptionally locked down. So the Kindle reads Amazon books. Now, you can probably, I haven't done this. Maybe we'll do this like when it's dark and cold in the middle of the winter when we have nothing better to do. Maybe we will figure out how to convert like Nook books and stuff through Caliber so that we can read them on our Kindle. I haven't done that yet, because typically I buy books from Amazon. They're Kindle ready books. And then I use Caliber to make them so I can read them on other things. But, so you can buy books from Amazon, read them on your Kindle. And I know some of y'all are yelling, Audible, Audible. I know, Audible works, but that's the same thing. It's still Amazon. So you can use Kindle things and Audible things on your Kindle. You can use, Kindle books, Audible, and that's it. It is locked down. Now on the Kobo, and y'all, I just want to talk about things that like out of the box you can do. Now, like I said, I think we can probably drag some things through Caliber and get them to work on the Kindle. We know that we can drag Kindle books through Caliber and get them to work on the Kobo. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about things that the device actually allows you to do. And Kobo allows you to do a bunch of stuff. So let's look just very, very quickly at the fact that Overdrive is right here on the thing. So you can sign into your Overdrive account and check out ebooks from the library using Overdrive or Libby and read them right on your device. And if you're signed into Overdrive and you click on a book and it's available through Overdrive, even if you don't go through like the little Overdrive section in the app, it'll still tell you if it's available on Overdrive. So it's not just going to like try to sell you the book if you can check it out for free. So that's pretty slick. You can also access your Pocket account and read articles that you have saved in your Pocket account. You can read them on your Kobo. You can access, I believe it's Google Drive for sure, because I've done that. I think Dropbox as well. You can access on there, download things that are in your Dropbox and work with them on your Kobo. Either like read ebooks that you have saved in there, or if you have PDFs saved in there, you can download them and onto your Kobo and then work with them in that notebook app and then upload them or like save them back to your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever it is, and then access them again from a computer or whatever. So y'all, it's pretty slick. So Kobo plays well with others. Kindle doesn't even acknowledge that others exist. Y'all, hey, early morning editing Danielle here. So as I was editing this video, I realized that I completely neglected to mention the elephant in the room, which, well, now there are a couple of elephants in the room, one of which is the yellow band that people are noticing across the bottom of the Colorsoft. I'm not sure if I have that on mine or not. I've kind of convinced myself that I notice a little bit of something, but here's the dealio with that. I have read that in a couple of different places, I have read that that's due to the adhesive that Amazon used, or like that the builders used to stick the screen to the device, that they used a different adhesive than they used on the regular black and white Paperwhite, and that it's causing the discoloration. So I'd mentioned in my other video that if you have that, reach out to customer service. They say they'll take care of you. Well, someone commented on there and said that they had heard that people are having issues with customer service. So I was like, well, and I also read that someone said that, well, there have been reports that people don't have the issue and then they do have the issue. So I was like, I don't have the issue, but what if I'm going to get the issue and my thing is it's going to be too late and I can't return it and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and reach out to customer service and just see how they're handling this. So I reached out to customer service early this morning, and y'all, it went smooth as silk. I went to like do the return thing on my Colorsoft on the Amazon website. They kicked me to like the correct department. The person, I'd say the guy because it was like Abdul or something. It was what I thought was a male name. So in my head, it's a guy. So the guy was very polite. He said, please wait, let me check. He checked some things behind the scenes, said, let me verify, came back and said, and it did take a while. It probably took about 15 minutes, but it was 15 minutes on a chat. So I was working the whole time. And he came back and said, I've issued a replacement for your device. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I can't see when the replacement device will be here, but as of now, if you order the Kindle paper, not the Paperwhite, the Colorsoft, if you order the Colorsoft, it says shipping delay of 3 to 5 weeks, and it shows a delivery date of like December 26th to 30th or something. So I've read that they're like reworking the thing, so I'm guessing probably replacing the glue. And the ones that they send out will be this sort of like revamped model. So y'all, we should have known when you buy like the first version of any tech, there are going to be issues. So those are my thoughts on that. Was that 2 elephants in the room? Oh, the yellow band across the bottom. Some folks have one, some folks don't. I think I might kind of have one. And the delay in shipping. So if you order it right now, whether you're replacing a defective device or not, if you order it today, you're going to get a ship date of like, or an arrival date of like December 26th-ish, or I guess maybe around that time, just depending on where you are. So that's what I know about that. All right, so let's wrap this up. What's the verdict? Let's talk about things quickly, about things they have in common, and like things that are not going to make a difference, I don't think, between the two. Reading on either of these is lovely. I love to read just plain old like words on pages, books on both of them. I enjoy the fact that I can write in books on the Kobo, that I can highlight using the stylus on the Kobo. And we've talked about this in multiple other videos, that you can make notes on the Kindle. It's just, you have to highlight and add a note and then you type it in, but you can still make notes. You can highlight on the Kindle, and it's very easy to just use your finger to highlight passages in the Kindle. So you can highlight, you can make notes in both of them. It's just a different modality for doing that. So reading books is lovely in both of them. I would argue that the battery life is similar. The Kindle has wireless charging, but they both have USB-C charging you can plug in, and you can read on them so if you go 8 weeks in the Mojave Desert and you don't charge, and you finally get some kind of juice to charge it up, you can read while you're charging. So that's nice. They're equally waterproof, like drop it in the drink and take it back out. But again, I wouldn't like sit underwater and read on either one of them. But so they're equally waterproof. Now let's talk about the differences. The Kindle, if you're a comic book, graphic novel, anime, any of those kind of reader, the Kindle plays directly to you. The colors are beautiful, and the Kindle software is fabulous for navigating through comics. They bought into some kind of Comics X or something company where they gained that sort of technical wherewithal or whatever to add to the devices the ability to navigate sort of around inside of comics. We talked about that, I think, during my unboxing of the Colorsoft, and I think I've talked about it in another video as well, about how you can sort of go into reader mode, and it allows you to like get into the different cells in the comic to read. It is absolutely fantastic. It is a dream to read comics on the Kindle. Where you can read comics on the Kobo, it's a little more cumbersome. You have to move things around. You have to change settings. So the Kobo is just not built for that. So if you're a comic reader, I think that maybe look more at the Kindle. But the Kindle has no stylus. So if you're looking for a device that you can write on, if you're interested in an e-ink tablet, or like an e-ink writing tablet, and you don't have one, and you maybe want an e-ink writing tablet combined with a reader, then hands down, it's the Kobo, because the Kobo does that and the Kindle does not. So I would say that they are both great for readers, for people that just like to read books. I think that if you like to read books and comics or anything graphic, if you like to read, like you can read magazines on either one, but the colors pop more, the pages turn more smoothly, more quickly. There's no ghosting, there's no color bleed on the Kindle. So I think the Kindle handles the color things better, and the Kobo, hands down, if you want a stylus, or if you want to be able to do annotations, like handwritten annotations in your books, then the stylus is the one for you. The Kobo is the one for you. If you want to be able to use it as any sort of note, like handwritten note taker, the Kobo is the one for you. And in the Kobo, you can build documents. So you can like build documents and bring them into the Kobo. So you can do like checklists, you can do all kinds of things with that document, like handwriting document functionality in the Kobo. So I think if you're interested in that, then the Kobo is definitely the way to go. And I'm pretty sure mine isn't even the most recent Kobo. So there are probably stylus, like Kobos that support a stylus that are more recent and do more things than mine do. So that's it, y'all. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments what I know. There's so much more to talk about, but I was just trying to hit the high points and talk about things that I think separate these two devices from one another. I'm sure I will have already linked, but I'll link to my unboxing of the Kindle, because in there I go through a bunch of details, and I've got a few videos on the Kobo. So I'll be sure and link those here too. So if you want to go in and find some details, do that. And y'all, if the information isn't there, or if you just don't feel like messing with it, drop your questions in the comments and I will answer them as quickly as I can. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week, with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.